I would love to have some of that apple juice. Thank you. Hello, guys. Good evening. I'm sorry. I don't feel like camming up tonight. I am, I don't feel like camming up, honey, but I'm talking. All right, guys. So I have some exciting news. I am not going to be here long. I am really feeling more grounded than ever. Um, I am feeling like I have found my way home, honestly. So I wanted to come and speak a little bit about how I am restructuring things a whole lot. And so this is going to be very important for current as well as future students. Okay. Um, where do I start? So my ancestors have been calling to me a lot. And I'm talking about the old ones from way back, going back to the 1600s. And this is one of the reasons why knowing your family and knowing where you came from is really important. But I don't want people that have been adopted to feel left out of that, because I feel that even if you have been adopted, I feel that you should connect with the ancestors of your adopted parents, okay? But I was doing some research and I found a whole bunch of information about who I am, just simply by looking at the history of my last name, which everybody knows is Briscoe. Everybody knows my last name is Briscoe. That has not even been something that I've tried to hide. And what I found, and I feel like it's totally up to you to practice your craft the way that you want. Okay. But the Briscoes, this is one of the reasons why I am very attracted to Norse Viking, because I guess because of my ancestry, right? So I was looking it up and I found out all of this amazing information about my family. Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Apple juice. Found out a lot of amazing information about who I am. And I decided to restructure my craft surrounding that. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of the Norse gods have a lot of the Norse gods have been um, coming to me because of my bloodline, because of, I guess, my history. Hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm back. I'm back. So, in order to like establish my foundation, and this gives me a better understanding of why I am attracted to certain things. What I realized is that looking up the history of who I am and who my mother was and who my grandfather is, that this would resonate with the Norse, I think it's Scottish, Ireland, Norse gods. So that's why I've always been attracted to working with Father Odin, Thor, as well as, and I didn't even realize this, Freya. And Freya obviously has been the one that has been trying to get through to me every single, it starts about Wednesday when she starts to sort of come into my consciousness. And then on Friday, it's almost like Freya has been trying to beat my door down like crazy. She's been trying to contact me. And so it is going to restructure a lot of the ways that I do things. Like I can already feel that change coming. And so I'm going to get to my point. Those of you that, I like to come on here and talk about kind of boring and interesting stuff like this. And those of you that are here with me, and are interested in the craft. Okay. You don't have to be interested in the craft to chill with me, but it's one of those things. So, um, I realized that I need to work with Father Odin more. And in fact, he comes to me all the time in my readings because I do personal readings on myself like every day. And so I feel like coming to this epiphany is something that I've been searching for every single day in my cards. And so that's one of the reasons why I really like working with the runes. I really like working with Odin. I really like working with Freya, because when you look at a lot of the Norse gods, they were more so pagan. The pagans worked with them before, everything with Christianity took over or whatever. And I don't have an issue with that because I don't have an issue with Jesus Christ. And I don't even feel that Jesus Christ has a problem with me working with other deities. I really don't. So it is what it is, okay? And so then I looked at my father's last name and found out a lot about that and realized that my father's last name has roots in with the Celtics, which is coincidentally why I am so close to Cernonos. One of the other gods would be who is that? That would be Cernonos, and I think La, and there's another one that I'm very, very familiar with. Hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. I apologize for that. Sorry about that. So with my father's, oops, pick that up, honey. With with my father's, bloodline, Cernonos, La, the Morgan, and there's a couple of other that are the Celtics. And so I always wondered why I was really attracted to that. Now, a lot of people that are Black or African American, they automatically feel that they want to connect with the African gods and goddesses, which is understandable. I mean, I will never, ever, ever stop working with Yemi Ya and Papa Legba. But I want, one of the reasons why I've always incorporated, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that big tapestry that I have in the living room. It's a big Celtic knot. And I like using the Celtic work. And I've actually worked with a lot of these Celtic gods and goddesses. So anyway, the point that I'm making is that I am restructuring, and I'm restructuring the way that I do my magic a whole lot, especially when it comes to Freya, Bridget, and the Morgan. The Morgan is constantly speaking to me, especially about some of, the issues that I have. Like, she is constantly speaking to me. But then again, Freya is constantly um, making contact with me, constantly. Both of them are constantly contacting me. So I'm going to be going on that journey. But what I wanted to speak to my students about was that I am going to be doing the same research for you or with you. For example, like on your first day of class, or either at some point during class, we're going to research, your ancestry, which is connected to basically your last name. And I think there's so many people that find themselves kind of lost, because I'm not even going to lie to you. I have had a lot of different gods and goddesses come to me, um, especially during times of confusion. And they've all helped me immensely. But there are some of them that I really, really want to work with more often. And so basically for your classes, all of my classes are eclectic, okay? However, if we find something like in your lineage, then that will teach me how to better teach you, if that makes sense, okay? So I think starting with that is really, really good, because you can find yourself kind of lost a little bit, especially when there are a lot, and I'm talking about a lot. For some reason, I have had a lot of different goddesses and gods come to me, but I know for a fact that Sir Nonos, he's on the Celtic side. He is always by my side, and he is so amazing. Sir Nonos, and then La's another one, and then the Morgan, and then the goddess Bridget. So I'm not real sure, um, because that's quite a big difference. On my mother's side, it's more so Norse, but then on my father's side, it's Celtic. which is totally different. It's totally different. So, no wonder, good Lord, you know, they have two totally different, like, backgrounds. I mean, they could have made it work. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could have made it work, but it's so different. It's so different. Sir Nonos is like so different from Father Odin. But are they sort of the same? I guess these are things that I'm going to have to like figure out. I don't think so. And so I think that I'm going to have to pick a side, is what I'm going to have to pick. To be honest with you, I think that you can pick a side based upon your own personal choice. I mean, when I look up my Briscoe lineage, my relatives are ancestors in Houston. They're worth $1.8 billion. So, I may lean towards the money, who knows? Or maybe go somewhere in between that. The point of the matter is that it's more education for the classes so that I can more effectively teach you. Of course, listen, a lot of the stuff that we do can sometimes look like hoodoo or even voodoo. But even back in ancient Norse days, they did witch bottles. They did. They did jars. They worked with fruits. They worked with vegetables. They worked with meats. They worked with animal blood. So to me, there's no difference. Okay. To me, it's witchcraft is witchcraft. Okay. But I think that it's important because sometimes you can connect, I don't want to say with the wrong people. I don't want to say the wrong energies, but those energies may not be as effective for you. So, for example, this changes the way that I do my magic, because if you search your last name, you may even find a symbol or a sigil for your last name. I actually found a sigil, like a coat of arms for the Briscoe family that I had no idea about. Okay. Now, most of the Briscoes identify themselves as Christian, but when I looked up my father's last name, I'm thinking that it's more so Gypsy. Maybe I'm not real sure. I think it was, what was it, Wanderer of the Spring or something like that. So a lot of the magics that I work primarily come from my father's side. So weird that and I don't think that he's okay with me practicing. I really don't, but that is what it is. But so this is gonna change a whole lot. I already work with rooms, and I already work with like both sides, like the magic that I work, like just with the way that I do my workings. It is like Celtic / Norse Viking, because you guys know that I'm really into the swords. I'm really into the athames, and just all of that stuff. But it helps you to explore a lot more. So, every single student that I have, I'm going to make sure that I know exactly who you are and do actual research. And it's to be honest with you, you know how they say what's in a name? What's in a name is very important, even if you are adopted, because guess what? The family that took you in and adopted you, they took you in. They took care of you. Hopefully, they took good care of you, and so I think that it's okay for you to honor, their lineage, especially if you don't know your own, because there's a lot of people that were adopted that don't know. But in case you do know, then you can make a choice. You can say, okay, this resonates, or you can work with both sides. And so what I was thinking is that maybe I can choose a god from one side, maybe a male god from my father's side, which would more than likely either be Cernunnos or La, and then choose a goddess from my mother's side. So that just kind of makes sense, which would either be Freya, and there was a few others that I had never heard of. I think K Leech is more so Celtic. But K Leech actually came to me. And these are a lot of the goddesses that some of them that I saw like on the list. It was like a whole list of gods and goddesses. Like a lot of them you haven't heard of, but I have actually heard of K Leech, and she came to me. So I'm definitely restructuring. And as far as like with my magic, I learn something new every day when it comes to magic. But one of the things that I noticed, that a few of the goddesses that must be coming from, like I guess my bloodline in this lifetime, you probably have connections going way back, honestly. But the one thing is, boiling things on the stove. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's like an old fashioned, way of manifesting, whether or not it's in your cauldron or it's in a pot. I know that my cauldron, poor thing, like I'm going to have to, because since I've started boiling things in it, I'm going to need to like, because it's kind of rusted on the inside, which I don't know. My spirits are like, that's a good thing. My spirit guides, like my witchy guides was like, well, that's a good thing. That lets you know that you've broke your cauldron in. It's not supposed to, necessarily look perfect. So it definitely does look like I've been using the hell out of it, because I've had that cauldron for what, like maybe 4 or 5 years. So anything, anyway, everything is being restructured, and it just really, really makes sense. And I am really, really, really gonna be working, I am leaning towards Cernunnos a lot. In fact, I feel like Cernunnos has actually shown, I don't want to say jealousy, but I feel like he's kind of shown I don't feel like Cernunnos necessarily wants me to work with love, just some of the signs that I've seen, but who knows? That's something that I would have to like go in, just kind of go into meditation and figure out. Um, I don't know. I have had an experience tonight that has made me feel extremely grounded, extremely. And there's a lot of different questions that I have, like for example, with Shiva and Lord Ganesha and Kali Ma, will I be able to incorporate those gods and goddesses into my work? And that's something that I'm going to have to figure out. I don't think it's anything necessarily wrong with it. I just know that for me, what I want to do is more so start to honor some of the gods and goddesses um, that I haven't been, that are coming from my own lineage, especially when it comes to the Briscoe side. You know, I mean, I'm constantly calling out Sir Nonos's name because his name is actually mentioned in my exorcism incantation. So I call the Sir Nonos all the time. Like, I say that incantation every day, whether or not it's for myself or if it's for other people, students, or either clients. So I'm constantly, and it works. Like when I call the Sir Nonos, he instantly grounds me, he heals me. You know, I feel like, you know, just kind of walking outside, just barefoot, you know, by a spring and just like vegging out. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, like he literally calms me down a whole lot and just heals me instantly. Okay, just instantly. Just it's you know, I understand that Christians would say Sir Nonos is the devil because he's the horned god. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But anyway, so that is pretty much where I'm going with this. And so probably like towards the end of this week, I'm going to be um, setting up an ancestor altar that more so is going to come from a place of, you know, the Celtics and then the Norse Viking, if that makes sense. Am I going to stop working with like Yemiya, because sometimes Yemiya as well as Oya comes to me, and then even sometimes uh, Urzuli has been coming to me a lot, and then also Oshun. Um, but I just want to make, and you know, I don't have an altar for any of those goddesses. I really don't. But you can, you know, you can totally have more than one altar. You don't have to have one altar. Okay. And I've got enough statuettes and stuff to where, like, right now I have a total of um let me count. One, two, three. I have a total of four altars. And like I said, no, I have a total of five. Actually, one of them is honoring the witches. The other one is for Lord Ganesha. The other one is for Saint Expedite, which he's been kind of like hanging back a little bit. Like I'm like, Saint Expedite, where are you? He's been here, but you know, he's been kind of hanging back a little bit because I feel like, you know, a lot of the other ancestors are coming to me. Like, and it's funny because I was actually led down this road from another witch on YouTube. I'm not going to say who, but um, anyway, so okay, where was okay, and then I also have an altar for Santa Muerta, and then I have an altar for actually have six altars. I have a little small altar for to honor Clonic, and then one to honor Belial. Okay, I do. So a lot of people be like, that's demonic, you know. Okay. Okay, so by the time I'm done restructuring my house and everything, because I've been working on doing some reorganizing, right? So I've been working on that. And so by the time I'm done, I'm gonna have the two altars to honor my ancestors on the Maxwell side, because my father's last name is Maxwell. Another one for the Briscoe side, and then which would be Celtic and Norse. And then I'm going to have an altar um, for Saint Expedite. I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to keep the Lord Ganesha altar. I'm going to set up like a small altar for Clonic, Belial, and then Santa Martha. As far as, oh, and also Yemi Ya, I have Yemi Ya sort of back in my I have her back in my apothecary, and she does not like it there. She doesn't. She wants her own area. She doesn't like it in my apothecary. So I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to set her up by water, and I've got a little small table down there. You know, you can get those little tables that you just kind of put together or whatever, you know, temporary until you're able to purchase a, you know, like a, I guess a more expensive table or whatever. But I'm gonna have like several altars throughout the house. I already have 5 of them, so you know, I'm gonna, well, yeah, I already have one, two, three, yep, 4, 5. So I'll have like at least 7 or 8 altars set up throughout the house. So we're not talking about personality altars. Like I got multiple personalities and stuff. No. But just altars to um you know, have, you know, my different stuff, and like it's not that difficult to take care of altars. You just can't be lazy. You have to like take care of them, feed your altars, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that you put their offerings out. I think it's a lot easier to put offerings on those different altars. Um, yeah, anyway. So it'll be up to you. Like, I don't, here's what I'm hearing from Spirit is that you don't necessarily have to um, go with like your bloodline or your lineage. So then I'm sure that a lot of people are like, well, what about Lilith? What about Hecate? Um, Lilith and Hecate, to me, the way that I look at them is that I don't necessarily have to have a altar to honor them, but more so they are within me. Like they're just, you know, and then even Kali Ma. So I believe that, you know, they are more so, you know, just a part of being a woman. You know, Lilith is considered to be the dark mother, so is Kali Ma. But I think that, you know, the way that I'm going to restructure the way that I practice, you know, my magic is to where I am going to more so embrace, um, and it's definitely time for me to do that, like the Norse and the Celtic, which, like I said, I already do, but I just don't have an ancestor altar. Like a lot of people, when they think about an ancestor altar, they think about their mother, their grandmother, their uncle, their great grandfather, which you can have that kind of altar. I personally would rather just have my pictures of my family members just kind of like on the wall. The last time I had an ancestor altar, it always ends up getting disassembled. It's so weird. So that's why I'm gonna go ahead and set that up. And so, you know, I know for a fact that they have Cernanos and what's the other Celtic one? Yeah, I've got to kind of divide them up, but I already know that they have like statuettes and stuff that I can get for that. And I think well, I don't think, I know it's going to change the way that everything is being structured. I feel like it's going to give me more of a structure to do it that way because, like I said, Freya, she is constantly trying to get in contact with me. And so, depending on what it is that she's talking about, you know, I can choose whether or not to work with her or not because I don't have to work with Freya. I feel like if she has any issues or problems, kind of like with the people in my life or, anything weird like that, then I would decline to work with her. Like I don't have to, I can choose to, but I do feel that she does come to me. But, I'll figure a lot of that out. And eventually, probably like in the next couple of weeks, I will be giving y'all a tour of all of my altars that I have just in one video, just showing all of my altars, and why I have them and what is the purpose. So this is just like the beginning, but just uh, good news for my students because, especially some of the existing ones that are watching, the next time that you're in class, whether or not you are a tarot student or you are an occult student, witchcraft student, this is something that we're going to research along with your birth chart. I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of my students, they already have certain circumstances that sort of led to us having to deal with the problems and issues at hand and having to spend a lot of class time on that. But I want you guys to really, really understand that, the next time at your class, I want you guys to schedule your class and try to put those things on the back burner so that we can connect to your lineage so that we can research and see who it is that you should be connecting with. Okay. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to come and talk to you guys about. If you have any questions, you can text me. I'm constantly, like, I spend a lot of time with my students as well as my clients. I spend a lot of time with you guys, whether or not we're on the phone or either we're texting. So you guys are more than welcome. Even if you've been a student and you're not a student anymore, you are more than welcome to text me and say, hey, can you look this up for me? And then I'll go ahead and send you the information and then we can go from there. Okay. As far as like, researching um, who to connect with, because, all of the information is there, for you. So, and it's a learning process. It definitely is. It's a growing process. So make sure that if you're a student that you get in touch with me about that. I'm never, like, a lot of y'all be like, I know you're busy. I know you're busy. It's like, sometimes I'm not busy. Sometimes I'm here twiddling my thumbs. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm just kind of wasting time. So the busier that y'all keep me, don't ever be like, I don't know why people think that. I thought that you was busy or dealing with something. No, like I would rather be working and kind of, doing what I enjoy doing other than some of the other stuff, which is just a useless distraction. Even though those things, because this past couple of years, well, actually not this past couple of years, but this past 4 months, I have learned a lot about necromancy and, parasitic spirits, parasitic energies, energy harvesting, and how to deal with it. So, that a lot of that stuff has already been put in the bag and put away. Okay. You understand me? So, you guys can contact me anytime. Just text me. And even if you text me and you email me, like, you already have to be an existing student or client, just give me some time to get back with you. You know what I'm saying? And then we can just go from there. Okay. And then also for clients, for a lot of my clients, you guys that seem to be having issues, especially if you are having issues with manifesting. I already have you guys' last name. So a lot of times what I will do is I will go and research your last name so I can go and say, okay, who do I need to contact about this? So I am very they call that, multifaceted. Like it, you know what I'm saying? Like I can work with people from all different backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that's other research that I can be doing for you guys. So if you're a client right now, I may text you and say, hey, I found this out, I found that out, and I am applying that to your work. And I don't have to build an altar for your ancestors. I would suggest everybody having an ancestor altar. Even if you don't practice witchcraft, you don't have to be a witch to have an altar. You don't have to be a practitioner to have an altar. Okay, to especially an ancestor altar. Okay. All right, guys. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys. And so I'll talk to a lot of you guys later. I'm gonna go because I'm doing a lot of research writing in my book. Okay. And so I'll catch y'all later. Okay. Y'all have a good one. Blessings, and talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.